Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to the Cantab Publishers video lessons. Before starting the lesson, dear students, you must have with you class 7 English textbook, summer pack and resource pack. Resource pack is for parents and teachers guidance. You can also download it from Cantab Publishers official website. We will start our lesson from unit number 3, The Winter Sun. SLOs of this lesson are: give main idea of the poem, identify line and stanza, give summary of the poem through gapped summary exercises. Look at the page number 27 here. We have a poem, A Winter Sun here. In this poem we will read about the winter sun. See the first stanza here. The winter sun's a grumpy guy. He scarcely gets to see the sky. He doesn't speak, his rays are weak. His dispositions grim and bleak. His dispositions grim and bleak. Here in this stanza, we read about a winter sun. Grumpy guy, an angry guy. Grumpy means angry here. Scarcely, very less. His rays, the rays, look at the rays, शुआएं जिसे हम कहते हैं. सर्दी के मौसम में क्या होती है उसकी शुआएं? सूरज की शुआएं क्या होती हैं? वीक होती हैं जब सख्त सर्दी हो. Dispositions grim and bleak. उसकी जो दिखता है, उसकी जो लुक होती है वो क्या होती है? ग्रिम एंड ब्लीक. ग्रिम कहते हैं उदासी भरी और ब्लीक ठंडी और अंधेरी. So in this stanza we read about the winter sun, that he's looked like an angry guy. This is the use of personification here. Yes, we have learned about the personification. Personification is a figure of speech in which we give human characteristic to non-living things, which are not people actually. The sun is here, the inanimate object here. Cannot be angry, but here we use personification in this poem to make this poem interesting. That in the winter season, sun looks like an angry guy, scarcely get to see, he very less see the sky, he doesn't speak, his rays are weak, and his position and his look is a grim, sad, bleak, is cold and dark. Look at the second stanza here. He hovers near the naked trees. Hovers, roaming, घूमना जिसको कहते हैं, हवा में घूमने को hovering कहते हैं. His blanket from the skies big freeze and barely dares to lift his head. Barely बहुत कम हिम्मत करता है. Dare हिम्मत करता है to lift his head, सर उठाने की. Before he's ordered back to bed. When his time comes to go to bed, to the east. In this stanza what we discussed, that he hovers, his just roam around the naked trees. And naked trees is actually refers to the autumn season when trees have no leaves. His blanket from the skies, big freeze. His blanket is only the sky, which is also is freezy. And barely dares to lift his head. And he very less dare to lift his head. बहुत कम अपना सर उठाने की हिम्मत कर पाता है क्योंकि बहुत ठंड होती है. Before he is ordered back to bed. Before his time comes to go to the east again. So, in this short poem we discussed about the sun of the winter. He looks like an angry guy. He's very less see the sky and he doesn't speak and his rays are weak and he looks sad and cold and dark. He hovers naked over the naked trees and his blankets is a big freezy sky and he very less lift his head up. And when his time comes to go back to the west. This is a fun poem about the winter, sun here. We have discussed the difference of line and stanza. This is a line here. And these 4 lines are called stanza. 4 lines को combine करेंगे जब हम, तो उसको क्या कहेंगे? stanza. और line सिर्फ एक line है. The poem is written by the Douglas Florian here. Something about the poet here. Artist and poet Douglas Florian was born and raised in New York City. He frequently takes the natural world as his subject, using wordplay, personification, rhyme, and humor to engage young readers. His main purpose was to entertain and engage young readers who enjoy short, fun poem. Look at the theme here. In this poem, the poet says that in winters the sun hardly comes out, which makes the weather cold. With figurative language, the feelings of the sun are expressed. The figurative language here, the figure of speech, personification. We have the grumpy guy, angry guy. Dear students, you can also find the meaning of the difficult words here in your word bank. Now look at the exercise here. Section A, deduce the meaning of the following words. Confirm your meaning from the dictionary. You need to open your dictionary and find the meanings of these words. Comprehension. Section A, read out the text and answer the following question. All these 7 questions is from your text. We just read now the poem, The Winter Sun. What are some of the examples of personification in the poem? We have discussed the personification, the use of personification in detail. You can find it very easily from your poem about the sun. What kind of words does the poet use to set the mood of the poem? Can you think of other words that might do the same thing? You have to think yourself what words might be the same thing, do the same thing. How does the poet intensify the image of a wintry day by using personification? Personification के जरिए poet ने intensify किया है, चीजों को बढ़ा चढ़ा के image पेश किया आपके आगे. Personification का use करके कौन सी ऐसी चीजें हैं? हमने personification के use को डिटेल में पढ़ा है. What does he compare nature to? Why do you think he did this? नेचर को किससे कंपेयर किया है और उसने ये क्यों किया? आप क्या सोचते हैं? 5th one, write the main idea of the poem. Look at the 6th, write down the inanimate nouns using this is very easy. You can find easily the inanimate nouns from the poem. The inanimate nouns are non-living things. Look at the 7th one. Read it line 1, 2 of the poem. What natural item is described as having a human mood? Again, you have to identify the use of personification. Natural item like trees, cloud, sun, which having a human mood. What human mood does this item have? And you have also described the mood. Is the item is natural item is angry, happy, sad, annoyed, irritated. What mood it have? Look at the section B here. Get summary, fill in the gaps with suitable words from the text. आपने क्या करना है? पोएम को दोबारा से रीरीड करना है और इन गैप्स में आपने क्या करना है? सुटेबल वर्ड्स लिखने हैं जो बिल्कुल एप्रोप्रिएट हो. इन द पोएम द पोएट डिस्क्राइब द सन इज जस्ट लाइक अ व्हाट? Yes, in the very first 2 lines, you can find the word for it. Yes, a grumpy guy. Sun has its good and what? Good and what will be the antonym of good here? The opposite word. Good and yes, bad days. सूरज के कोई दिन अच्छे होते हैं और कुछ दिन क्या होते हैं? बुरे होते हैं. इन season, the sun hardly appears on the, yes, it is obviously, it's clear from the topic, it's in winter season. Hardly appears on the what? Yes, obviously, the sun appears on the sky. I want you to find the words and fill the gaps here. The 4 gaps here. Look at the page number 29, section D. Read out the text and express your opinion and personal preferences. We have multiple choice question here. We have 7 questions here, and for each we have 4 options. Look at the first one. What sort of days does Douglas Florian describe in the winter sun? An unpleasant hot summer day, a cold winter day, a beautiful bad sad autumn day, a day of fresh spring. Yes, it is very obvious from the topic, a cold winter day. Look at the second one. Which sentence does not contain an inanimate noun? Inanimate noun means non-living thing. अब आपने इसमें बताना है कि इसमें से कौन सा सेंटेंस है जिसमें नॉन लिविंग थिंग नहीं है, सारी लिविंग थिंग्स हैं. He hovers near the naked trees. His blanket from the sky's big freeze. He scarcely get to see the sky. His disposition grim and bleak. Yes, tree is here is not an inanimate object. It's a animate object here. We will consider tree the animate object here because they grow, they breathe, they absorb sun rays and water in themselves in order to grow. Look at the tree here. The word grumpy in the poem suggests that, yes, I have told you what the grumpy means. Sun is doubtful or weak in winter. Sun lives in a state of royalty or power. Sun is a bad temper in winter, or sun is unsure in winter. Yes, it's very obvious. Sun is bad temper, angry, grumpy guy. Look at the fourth here. What statement is the poet making about the subject of the poem? Subject was the sun here. The sun can actually speak. Winter is a terrible season. Nature can sometimes seem unhappy. The sun decides when it sets each day. No, the sun was not actually speaking. Winter is a terrible season. No. The sun decides when it sets each day. No, sun doesn't decide it. Yes, the right option is nature can sometimes seem unhappy. It's obvious. Nature can sometimes seem unhappy. So, do these 3 questions by yourself. I hope you have enjoyed my lesson. Thank you.